Welcome back. It's been a minute, but I've got something awesome that relates to Splinterlands and crypto in general. This is a great time for it with all that's been happening in crypto. HiveHub.dev, if you want to try out the most up to date, you can go to beta.hivehub.dev. But this tool, Token Routes, is already available, and we've been working and fixing it, and it's been amazing. So I'm going to give you several examples of how it would benefit the users of the Splinterlands ecosystem. So in this first example, I've got 1,000,000 DEC, and I want it to go to Hive. In the next example, HBD to DEC. In the next example, we're going to talk about Bitcoin to SBS, because Bitcoin's meteoric rise as of recently. And then let's say, what if we just want something simple like DEC to SPS? See what the different options are, and I'll kind of tell you how this system works. But I wanted to start with one of the easiest, and we go with DEC on Hive Engine to Hive. Now, what if we actually want DEC on Splinterlands? This may be a little different. First of all, I'll show you here that it's saying that a trade, and really to get from DEC from Splinterlands to Hive, it just means it's going to be one extra step. So everything here should be the same except 3, 3. This will be 4 steps. This will be 6 steps. So now, luckily, the simplest solutions are the ones with the best results. So this should get us 2,600 Hive. This should get us 25. So if you, now the LP swap, in my opinion, is simpler. And if you click on these, you'll see exactly kind of what's happening. Now, there's a um, there's a 6 Hive fee. Now, not every step will always show the exact fees, even if the fees are represented in the result. But in this case, it does. So there's a 6.5 fee because of the swap, because there, I happen to know it's like 0.2%. And then over here, if you use the Hive engine withdraw, which is interesting because usually the B swap withdraw is typically better, but I don't see it showing up. One thing that you can do is, whoops, I've excluded locations like these exchanges that I don't have access to. One thing you can do is show all of the 2-step ones. I got to get that B swap back in there. I don't know why it's not showing up. Technically, yeah, B swap's not showing up. Do I have it excluded? Don't have it excluded. So, anyways, back to the, and this is also me testing it, but we can add in, this is just a discussion. We are planning on adding in another centralized exchange. In the future, we'd like to add in a couple of liquidity pools on other chains like Binance and Ethereum. Those are much bigger projects, kind of each time you add a location. When we added the Splinterlands as a location, that took a little bit of work, but I think it's worth it because I use it plenty as well. So if we took DC to Hive, you could either go this trade route or the swap route. And it's just a really good indication here that like you can get somewhere like 8.5 more Hive if you went the trade route right now, and that thing can switch back and forth. Now, if you wanted to do swaps, and maybe that's what you're kind of doing, then the best swap is to go straight through with DEC to Hive. The next best would be DEC to SPS and SPS to Hive. And you can kind of see the difference here is a good 7 Hive difference. So pretty interesting. Let's go to the next example. If you have 1,000 HBD and you have the, well, you know what we should do? You have the HBD on Hive, and then we hit calculate routes. And if it's the first time you've used it, I just want to point out something. If it's the first time you've used it or someone's used it in a little bit of time, it's going to take a little bit of time to load all the data. And then each time when I clicked the calculate routes, it was boom, fast. So if it's taking a lot of time right now, it just means someone hasn't used it recently. And then each time you do some calculations, it'll be pretty fast. So, or boom fast, I guess I said. The best route from HBD to DEC is shown here. It's a 5-step. But what if I just want to do 4? How much of a difference is that? We're looking at less than 1,000 DEC. We're talking about 200 DEC. So of course, I'm going to go with the 4-step. I don't value, like saving 200 DEC that much. That's such a small amount. What is it that it's doing? It's doing the 2 swap, Hive to SBS and the SBS to DEC, as opposed to the 1 trade. Now, I do enjoy the swaps. Now, what if it's doing the straight swap? That is a pretty big difference. That's 7,000 DEC because it's going straight Hive to DEC. And that pool must not be quite big enough. So that's a $7 savings by going from Hive to DEC. And then, wait, so it's just 1 trade. Oh, it's just 1 trade. That is way easier. And so the difference in trades, Hive to DEC versus, what is the difference in here? VSwap is showing up, by the way. So we got HBD to Hive, Hive to swap Hive. These two look pretty similar. What am I missing? Hive. Just a second. I gotta figure this out. Oh, totally missed it. It's a trade versus a swap. So swap here, trade here. So save $7 by doing the trade instead of the swap. All right, that makes sense. And as far as I know, and you can always, like we are pretty early on, you will have to do these yourself, and when you do them, just double check the math. If there's ever any problems, send us a message. But I've checked these in the past, especially with stuff involved with Hive Engine, Splinterlands. It's done a really good job of calculating volume type stuff. In any case, I'd rather do the 1 trade than the 2 swaps and 200, DEC different. So now, okay, let's go to the meteoric rise of BTC. What if we want SPS? What if your BTC is on Gemini? Now, you can type in BTC. In this case, there's a lot of BTCs. Even on Gemini itself, there's 4 different BTCs. If you have your BTC right in BTC, or WBTC on ETH, or on Kraken, or on Upbit, or on Matic, they'll all kind of take different routes. But I'm just doing 0.1 BTC, and let's see the difference. We're talking 2,000 SPS difference by going this 6-step route, which probably worth it. But what you want to do is kind of look at this route, make sure you're comfortable with all of them, right? Now it's using excluded locations because it's basically saying Binance as better, and I can't use Binance, so basically the 5-step is my best option. Where's a 4-step? Oh, it's a huge difference in the 4-step. So I actually like everything here, and that's another part of it. I have Gemini because I'm in the US. So if I were to send BTC, I would send it to BTC. Okay, this is one thing where knowing, and I will send a message out to our developer, but this is actually a 4-step because you can send the BTC directly to Simpleswap. You don't have to send it to the BTC network, and therefore you're going to save on the fee, on an extra fee here, I believe. So you will be able to do it's actually this 2000 is going to be even better. That's like 6,000 cents, $6. So technically this 5-step is probably going to be better than the 6-step because you can send this BTC directly to Simpleswap. So you don't need this extra step in there. Anyways, so it's going to be better, and I will get it so that it's kind of merged together. The withdraw straight to Simpleswap, and then you'll get Hive, and then you'll use Hive bswap bridge to get swap Hive, and then you'll do swap Hive and LP swap to SPS. Nice. And then you'll just do the withdraw, which has 0 fee. Perfect. So this 5 should be a 4, and it is the best route, which is awesome. So if anyone has 0.1 BTC burning a hole, you can get 217,000 SPS. And where do you see SPS going, I guess, compared to BTC? Or 217,000 will get you quite a bit of, if you're playing ranked battle games, that'll be quite nice for your account. So the next example is DEC to SPS. Now we have the regular conversion where you can burn DEC for, well, no, you can burn SPS for DEC. But what if you want to go the other direction and get SPS? So you got a million SPS, and I look at this. If it's really that close, I sometimes just like to do a 3-step compared to a 4-step. Let's take a look at both of them. So we're just going to Hive from SPS or DEC on Splinterlands, DEC on Hive engine, 0 fee, DEC to Hive via trade. And now trades are nice because they have 0 fee. And then we're going to use the swap to go to SPS and then turn it into Splinterlands with 0 fee. So the only thing that really has a fee is that. Now, if you want the 3-step, you've got DEC to SPS LP swap. So it's I mean, that's just a lot less work, a decent amount less work, I should say. But you are missing out on, let's say, 23, 24 SPS. So that's 48 cents difference. Well, more than that. So 60, 70 cents. So what do you value? It's up to you. Now, what if we did something crazy? Remember those routes? What if it was 5 million DEC for SPS? How will it differ? It definitely thinks the 3-stop route is much better by a long shot. We're talking 7,000, because when you're dealing with these volumes. Now, what we haven't done and is still on the table for, if this feature gets very, very popular, we can do split routes, where we can say, hey, you got 5 million DEC. The best thing to do is to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But that gets complicated because you've now kind of doubled your effort. So in this case, if you were doing 5,000 or 5 million, one thing to do is to do 2.5 million and see that they're very similar to each other. So 86, I'm going to bring out a calculator real fast. Give me a moment. 86.9 plus 86.8 is 173. So, we could eventually do this, but the UI for it could be a little more complicated. Or you can just divide your number in half if you have super large, we're talking 5,000. That's not super large, I suppose, but it is large. So 172.4, but you could go to the halfway mark and see that you could have got 173.7. So that's 1,300 more SPS to go through that work. So that's a decent amount. That's definitely worth it for some people. So I'm just giving you a few different tips. Now I also want to I want to do just 3-step options. There's only one 3-step options. Or let's check 4-step options. Okay, these are all the 4-step options. Now this 4-step option is horrible. Don't consider it. So you've got really 3 viable ones. This one starts to get substantially worse because you're going from Hive to SPS. And I guess that is with a trade. And this trade right now is not very good. It looks like both of these trades are going to have a significant impact. Let's do another one. Maybe new users, or you're trying to say, hey, I have USD. The question is, where is your USD? Is your USD on, these are all kind of like, this is the Binance, or well, this is Binance Smart Chain. I guess I don't have Binance because I excluded it. There's some ETH stuff. There's this Gate. Let's see, Kraken. So you got USD, that's USDM. USD on Kraken and different USDs that you'd have to trade into, and I've excluded Binance, so I'm not showing that one up. All right, so we've got the best option. And what I like to see is these symbols. I am very familiar with Hive Engine, so I'm very happy about this. What I like is 2,000 USD equals over 2 million DEC, just barely. So that's nice. And then the next best option is 5-step, and we're missing out. Oh, this is 19,000 DEC, so that's $19 different. So I think I'm definitely willing to do this. So, all right. So it's saying that you just trade it for USDT, which you're going to lose a little bit on for that trade because Gemini has a trade cost, which is going to be like $8. But then you are depositing. Huh. Now this trade, I have a hard time believing that this trade has the volume available, but we can check it out. Okay, so we're looking at USDT on the Hive Engine trade. What it was wanting to trade was essentially 1,966 USDT for 5,334. Let's go look at it. And the depth. I'm not sure about this. Just a second. Okay, so I'm selling USDT, if that's correct, and I have 1,996. Is that the right amount? 1,960. 1966.5. 1966.5. And it seems to think that if I use the market order type, 5279, and it's thinking 5334. So it's a little bit off on the amount of swap Hive it thinks that you'll get. So if it's out of date information or it's looking somewhere a little bit different, yeah. So the sell orders, the bids kind of change up. You can see that there's a decent amount of bids down here. And even this one that could handle a lot of swap USDT. Very interesting. Okay, so double check some of this stuff and let us know, and I'm going to send that to the developer. It's not off by a lot, but 79, let's see here. It's like 30, 40 Hive. So what's the next best one? It's a USDT as well. What's one that doesn't have USDT? What I'm wondering is Simpleswap would be a really good one to use in here. But I'd love to see it compared. So that's another thing I'm going to bring up. Speaking of Simpleswap, swap sites are very convenient. So if you have one ETH, which right now is $3,400 is its value, which kind of grabbing this information. Yeah. So anyways, I was just looking at the pop-up. All right, one ETH. How much SBS can you get out of one ETH? And you've got a 4-step and another 4-step. And how do they differ? Well, 4,000 SPS difference. So I would definitely use Simpleswap. Simpleswap is very easy to use. Yes, it is a custodial system. You have to trust them, but I've used them a lot from personal experience, and they're a lot. And only one time has there been a mistake, but their customer service was impeccable, like really good. So either way, do what you need to do. It's saying to use Simpleswap to go straight to ETH, or sorry, simple ETH to Hive, and Simpleswap will do all that maneuvering, and you'll end up with 9,047 Hive. Now, BSwap has presently they're doing something where you get extra Hive by using it. If you go from Hive to Swap Hive, you're going to actually earn a little bit. And this is a real thing. This is definitely a real thing. I've used it. And it depends on how much they have in their system at the moment. And they apparently need more Hive. So anyways, and then the swap is going to be the best method, Hive to SBS. So there you go. So that was a simpler one. And I mean, what other examples do we want to share? What else is going up? What are some other possibilities? What if I removed the Binance exclusion and I did, well, you can't deposit USD right there. Let's say it's BTC on Binance. Do I have to refresh the page so that Binance shows up? Probably. It's still excluded. Oh, I never hit save, perhaps. Yep, okay, now we're good. So, and you can even go and check Binance, and then all these different options show up. So I tend to like putting the BTC in there, and it will let me choose from the list of where the BTC is at. What if we do some ridiculous thing like 1 BTC? That's going to be crazy. Let's see. That's 61, almost $62,000. You'd be losing a lot of money. Lose a lot of money by doing all $61,000 because none of the stuff can really handle it. The swaps can't handle it. Trades can't handle it. Yeah, none of these pools can really handle it. So kind of a ridiculous, 0.1, 0.2 is quite a big amount as well. You're not losing quite as much. The drop here is only going to be $316. But the 1 BTC is a huge amount. So did you see that difference? So 316, you would think, oh, what if I just times 316 times 5? That's $1,500 if I do a full Bitcoin, right? Nope, that is not $1,500. That is $28,000. Just the pools get decimated. So you want to do, you could kind of like calculate the difference in between. If this was 316, like 96 is more than 3 times better. So going at 0.1 and doing it 10 times over the course of some time is going to be way better. You kind of hit the pool with $6,000 of volume, let it recover, and then hit it again, and do that 10 times, and it's only $960, for a full Bitcoin of impact. Anyways, we've already kind of done this, but it's interesting to see what they're thinking about for the routes here. Now, I always love a smaller route, especially when the difference is 70 SPS. I'm not sure. Maybe it's worth it to do this. It really loves USDT. USDT, USDT to Hive. Oh, straight on Binance, though. In that case, that's not too bad. Perfect. And then Hive, and then kind of more stuff that's on Hive Engine. Compared to a BTC to Hive trade, as opposed to BTC to or USDT to Hive. This is like the one extra step in there. Now, if you go a Simpleswap method, it's a substantial difference because they're taking a bit of their money, of course. So, anyways, that is some discussion on how to use this. And if you have any questions, requests of locations, if you know a large community that would love to integrate their project, let us know. Thank